All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another one, y'all. Back with another first look. All right, y'all, it's going down. UFC Noche, another big one for the card. Amanda Lemos is making her return against Tatiana Suarez. Rescheduled once again. I mean, this fight right here has been rescheduled a number of times. I mean, between this fight and the Verna Jandiroba versus Tatiana Suarez fight, it's been rescheduled like 2 or 3 times now. But finally, we got this one on lock. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully, both fighters are good, no injuries. I really wanted to see, I'm not going to lie, I really wanted to see Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson, because Jillian Robertson made that call out. That was a fight she wanted. So I was like, all right, if she wants that fight, give that fight to G-Rob. She can test where she's at against a big power puncher. And Suarez, she could face somebody like Yan Xiaonan. But this fight here, it's a good matchup as well. This one's going to tell us where Suarez is right now. It's also going to tell us where Amanda Lemos is. Like, has she really been working on her takedown defense and wrestling and her grappling like that? I know I've seen her wrestle and grapple in the past. Her jiu-jitsu is good, but it seems like as soon as she stepped out of that level against girls like Verna, Mackenzie Dern, and even like Jessica Andrade, man, it's just been like levels below these fighters. She just kind of like showcased this big hole in her game now that a lot of these girls can expose on the ground. So somebody like Suarez, she could really have success with that. But looking at Amanda Lemos first, her last 4 fights, she's 2-2. She lost to Zhang Wei Li. Then she beat Mackenzie Dern, lost to Verna Jandiroba, got finished by her. Then she went on to beat the prospect, the Yasmin Lucindo. So the 2-2 right there just kind of shows you, yeah, like there's levels to it. Like Verna, she's on a warpath. Zhang Wei Li, she's a different type of animal. But she can still beat girls like Dern and Yasmin Lucindo. But the question is, like I said, does she have enough stopping power to keep Suarez off of her? And can she use her jiu-jitsu to counter some of the wrestling moves of Suarez? That's the big question. One of the things about Amanda Lemos, I think, man, like she just believes too much in her power and she doesn't really set it up. And that's why I said it's really hard to call some of these girls knockout artists when they don't know how to set it up. Like, there's girls with power, but I can't really clearly call them knockout artists because they're not setting the knockout up. They're not setting it up where they're flicking the jab out, putting effective pressure on their opponent. They're still leaving their opponent too much room to just take away their power and nullify it, So if Suarez has been working on her striking and her fundamentals, she could easily just, smother the power and, stuff her and take her down and maul her, like she's done to so many other strikers in the past. But looking at Tatiana Suarez, Tatiana Suarez, she's had a hard career, man. I mean, as far as like the ups and downs, she started off really tight, and then she just went on that long layoff that just kind of, it took away, it denied her a lot of chances to really improve. Like, she really needed to go through that ringer against those fighters like the Yan Xiaonans, the Derns, the Vernas, the Lemoses. She needed that level in between, that inactivity period. I really wanted to see her get that level, but when I thought that, she might not have too many more years, I said, all right, fine. Let's go ahead and see her get Zhang Wei Li, because that's what they, went on and put on her next. Because after she beat Montana and Jessica Andrade, I was like, all right, those are good fights to just kind of shake the cage rust off. But now we got to see her. She looks like against Dern, Verna, and so on. But that level got skipped. And then she went straight for the champion, right? So after seeing that fight, we know she has a good chin. She's durable and she's tough, but you could just see like there was a difference there. Like she wasn't ready for it. Like you could tell she was just like, oh man, I'm in here with a different animal, because Wei Li just had so many years to improve, through wins and losses. So Tatiana, going into this fight here, this is going to answer some questions as far as like her fundamentals on her feet. Is she going to be able to, slip some of these big punches? Is she going to be able to, counter with her own jab? Will she be able to use her striking to get this fight to the ground? And will she be able to, just smother Lemos's attempts and just, crush her jiu-jitsu altogether and get the finish? But, yeah, I think this fight's going to be interesting, though, as far as, just seeing where Suarez is right now and see if she's durable and if she can really take that Lemos punch. I'm not trying to, bash Lemos, but man, like Lemos has really been letting me down as far as her improvements. Like, you always see her training hard and hitting these mitts and stuff, but she's still not like throwing this, boxing rhythm. She's just swinging big shots. Like, she's not really setting up the good rhythm to get that big punch anymore. She's just been swinging for the fences, or, she'll wait and hold it and hold it. There's no real setup to it. She's just swinging with everything she has on every single shot. So early look, man, I could just see her, throwing like a couple big haymakers and maybe Suarez walking through them, or just timing well and just level changing on her and mauling her throughout the first round, and maybe even stopping her. I'm just saying, I can see that opportunity coming for Suarez, because Suarez is still a powerful wrestler. We can't get that twisted, especially against somebody like Lemos. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. What do y'all think of this fight? How do y'all think it's going to go as an early look? Do y'all think Suarez evolved enough to handle the power and the striking of Lemos? And does Lemos have enough in her jiu-jitsu to maybe pull off a submission against Suarez? And does she have enough power and IQ to set up a knockout? That's the question. But let me know, guys, in the comment section. Hit that like and subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.